What's happening, guys? Jonathan Perriente, The Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and continue to subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. So, WrestleMania 35 is in the books. Very interesting pay-per-view it was. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, some surprises that we didn't expect. But overall, pretty good pay-per-view. I will not lie. We had the pre-show matches to not really care about. Tony Nese won the Cruiserweight title. Ryder and Hawkins, which was kind of nice. They re-teamed up again after many years. Took home the Raw Tag Team titles. And Braun Strowman eliminated SNL's Colin Jost and Michael Che. To win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Carmella won the Women's Battle Royal. All this was in the pre-show before we even got to the main stuff on the card. So let's begin now as we go into the card. Very nice opening by Yolanda Adams of the God Bless America. Nice little flare with the helicopters in the beginning of the show. It was really a good way to kick off the event. And we started off the show interestingly. We began with the Universal title match, which was really a very curious way to begin the show. We had Alexa Bliss come out first to introduce everyone and being the host of WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan coming back was pretty nice. A very good way to kind of get the crowd amped up and ready. So the first match, as I mentioned, was Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. I got to give W some credit for this. We knew the women were going to main event the show. That was a given. To have the Universal title lead off the show, I think that was a good way to get the audience engaged early. Because, being WrestleMania, 15 matches, a long card, 5 hours of wrestling. At some point or another during the event, you're going to lose the crowd after a while. The crowd's just going to not be interested in just a show like that would go this long. So you really have to put one of the better hyped up matches at the beginning of the card to get the people invested into watching more of the event. Seth Rollins and Lesnar did not disappoint. Very good match. Really, first 10 minutes, Lesnar attacked Rollins before the match even began. A lot of tough spots, including him getting thrown into the ring, thrown into below the apron a little bit. He got his back all beaten up and welted up after that. But in the end, the match did happen. Seth Rollins, with 3 curb stomps, beat Brock Lesnar to win the Universal Championship. And I didn't think they were going to pull the string with this one. I didn't think they were actually going to take a chance with this. But I commend Seth Rollins. Very well done. And a long time coming for him. Very happy for Seth Rollins, new Universal Champion. Match number 2 was Randy Orton against AJ Styles. Again, good technical match. Both these two are very accomplished veterans in this business. Didn't feel like the crowd was into this match as much as it was hyped. It was a good, decent match, as I would expect from both Orton and Styles. A couple of very good spots, including AJ somehow getting away from an Orton off the top rope RKO that he usually tends to do. And in the end, AJ hit the phenomenal forearm off the top rope and was able to pin Randy Orton 1, 2, 3. Swinging down to the next match, a pretty short match. It was the fatal 4-way match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between the Bar, the Usos, Aleister Black and Ricochet, and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Wasn't a very long match. A couple of good spots here. Definitely Aleister Black and Ricochet look like they're mainstays on this roster. There's no doubt about it. Ricochet is just an incredible athlete. A 630 splash that he can do. Aleister Black has a lot of good athleticism for a guy only about 200 pounds. These two are going to have a very bright future on this roster. Where WWE will utilize them, we will find out soon. But in the end, the Usos retained the tag team titles. I was actually a little surprised that the Usos were even able to retain. I didn't think they were actually going to do that. But congrats, Jimmy and Jay, still tag team champions. Very nicely done. Then we go to the Falls Count Anywhere match between Shane McMahon and The Miz. Wow. This was one of the best matches of the night. Yes, it was not for a title, but a personal rivalry match. And when it's built up properly, it can deliver into an epic match. And this was a pretty epic match. Had a little moment where Miz and the Miz's father and Shane McMahon tried to fight each other in the ring. You know, Shane did some really dirty stuff in this match with Miz's father to irk the Miz, get him very upset. Match spilled into the stands. Had some very good spots where we're thrown off camera wells a little bit. And at the end, this was the great finish of this match. Shane and the Miz sitting right up top of a platform where they have like the high cameras, where they film the high cameras up there for the production. And they did a perfect, Miz and McMahon did a perfect superplex off that platform through a table on the floor. And Shane does a lot of these high-risk matches. Shane McMahon ended up pitching up the win. And it was just a picking up the huge win at the end of it. And it couldn't have been a more perfect match to have about third of the way in. You know, Miz and Shane, you know, both of them were just excellent storytellers leading up to this feud. Both of them cut very good promos on one another, and in the end of the day, they delivered a very nice and solid match. So Shane McMahon came away with the pinfall after that whole fall off the top of the camera well. And I have a feeling this rivalry might not be over yet. I smell maybe an I Quit match down the road between these two. Next, we had the women's tag team title match. It wasn't anything too special. Nia Jax had a nice new haircut. Beth Phoenix looked great. I can't believe that was the same Beth Phoenix that wrestled 7 years ago. I mean, she looked like she hasn't missed a step. Her and Natalya had really great chemistry as a tag team. And at the end of the day, it was... at the end of the day, the Iconics of all the 4 tag teams in this match, Sasha Banks and Bayley, who were the defending champs, Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Tamina, Nia Jax, and Billie Kay and Peyton Royce of the Iconics. It was the Iconics who had an iconic moment on the most iconic stage of them all, WrestleMania. You know, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce really, I think, needed a match like this. They needed a victory like this. Not really since the Melbourne event did they really have a solid booking going into a big match like this. So I commend WWE for doing this. I think the Iconics, it was long overdue for them. And I'm curious to see what they will now do as women's tag team champions. Just the second team of all time to be crowned women's tag team champs. That led us into our next match. And I think by far one of the best matches on the entire card of the night. Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. And, well, guys, if you didn't know who Kofi Kingston was for the past 11 years, you saw every bit of what Kofi as a competitor is, the type of wrestler he is, the type of guy that he is. For the whole roster to be behind him, for all the fans to get behind him, for just the entire world to get behind him. It really tells you something about what he had to go through to accomplish his dream in this business. From his days in ECW, from his days with the New Day, and finally, on the grandest stage of them all, his very first one-on-one match for a WWE Championship. And Kofi Kingston won the title. I didn't think WWE was ever going to do this. I never thought I would see an African American hold the WWE Championship, and I'm glad Kofi Kingston got to be the guy to do it. You know, you feel for the guy, to have him celebrate with his children at the end, brings a little tear to your eye, man. I mean, you know, you've never seen a you wanted somebody that really earned a shot at this, that had to overcome so much, including Vince McMahon throwing like 100 obstacles at him. And in the end, Kofi was able to get through all that. The New Day was able to get through all that. And Kofi Kingston became the first African-American to win the WWE Championship. And that's going to make people like Ron Simmons very proud. That's going to make people like Booker T very proud. And I think more than anything, this is going to inspire a new generation of young African-Americans to really pursue a dream in wrestling, thanks to Kofi. I think we're going to definitely see that. So, just a tremendous moment for Kofi Kingston, and just a tremendous guy that he is, and I couldn't have been more happier for Kofi, and I hope he has a good reign with this title. I really think, and I really hope he does. From that match, we went right to the U.S. title match. It was probably the worst match on the whole card. Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe match barely lasted even a minute. Rey was coming into this match hurt, so they had to abbreviate this match. Samoa Joe retained the United States Championship. I'm not too surprised at that. Next match, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns, this was his first match since the first in-ring match one-on-one since he came back from his diagnosis of leukemia. And you know what? I'm okay with Reigns winning this match. I'm okay with him beating McIntyre, you know. The long road back that Reigns had to go through, battling a life-threatening illness, for him to beat it and then to come back at WrestleMania to win. Hats off to Roman Reigns. No doubt about it. Now we had a very interesting moment in the whole event, the next segment, which was Elias's concert. Well, to have three of Elias's out, two on screen doing drums and playing the piano, and having Elias on the guitar was kind of cute. And then we got introduced to a weird vignette that just aired of Babe Ruth. Little did we know, John Cena, in his Thuganomics gimmick, his old rap gimmick that he did during the last end of the Attitude Era in 2002, 2003. I didn't think John Cena was ever going to bring that gimmick back. Wow, and the fans were right behind him. Did a nice little rap rant, digging into Elias, and then ended up kind of beating him up, dropping him with his old FU, not the attitude adjustment. Wow. That was kind of a nice little moment there with John Cena. You had to love that. Next match, the no-holds-barred match between Triple H and Batista. Very nice entrance for Triple H. Career was on the line. Boy, this match was violent. We had some weaponry that we didn't think was going to get used. We had a toolbox full of chains. A very good spot in the beginning of the match. Pliers that Triple H used, and I can't believe WWE even did this. He ripped Batista's nose ring off of his nose. I mean, I thought Orton digging a screwdriver into Jeff Hardy's ear lobe hole was cringy. Wow. Wow. Then match kind of went pretty back and forth after that. And then Ric Flair made an appearance, tossing Triple H another sledgehammer, and in the end, used it on Batista. It was a good match. Triple H pinned Batista to retain his career, which was a very nice finish to a good match, without a doubt. So Triple H, I thought that was going to be his last match. It wasn't. Okay. Next, we had another match that really was underwhelming. Baron Corbin against Kurt Angle. You know, Angle's last match, and I'm really upset with how this match went down. They really couldn't have picked a better opponent for Angle. They had to pick Baron Corbin. And to make matters worse, they had to make Baron Corbin win the match. I get it. Angle wanted to let the young guy take over. All right, I'm okay with that. I guess, not how I wanted him to leave, but it is what it is. Next, we have the Intercontinental title match. It wasn't anything special. Finn Balor came back with his Demon King gimmick. Finn Balor won the match. And then finally, we had the Raw Women's title, all winner take all for both titles. Charlotte, Becky, Ronda Rousey, and nice entrances for all three of them. And in the end, Becky Lynch, very controversially, took home both titles. Not a good way I wanted to end the card, even though she beat Rousey, but I don't know what to say. But that's going to do it for this video. Jonathan Perriente, The Execution 10, saying bye for now.